By the way, thanks.
Hello.
CA and
we are live. Welcome to the Komodo update, the first monthly update. We are going to start doing these each month. This one is the first one. And next one is at the end of June, which is the half-year update. So it's going to be a bigger update for us. So also be sure to check out that and stay tuned for the announcement on when exactly this is happening. And I will actually just hand it off to JC. JC, do you want to introduce who's on the call and quick overview on what's going to be happening?
Yeah, so for the next half an hour to an hour that we got for this going on, we've got a bunch of the Komodo members on the team. We're trying to get this kind of like team presence and monthly updates, what's going on behind the scenes out there to the community to help make Komodo more transparent to everybody. We've got Audo, the CMO of Komodo, that was just doing the talking and the introing to the entire thing. We've got Artakush, who is our dedicated community liaison and manager. We've got Lydia on the call. We can actually like say hi so people can hear voices. Hello. In case they're just listening in. So that last one was Arda. And then we've got Lydia. Yeah, hi. Who's our SEO manager. We've got myself, Jcharming, who is doing some operations work with Komodo. We've got Delton, who is the content director. Yeah, so if you're reading all the blogs out there and everything else, like that's who's doing all the writing of them. We've got Lindsay, who I do not think is here in the call today, but has left us something to play, who is our new PR lead, who is helping push out Komodo's PR strategy, which is really great. We've got VK, who's our growth hacker, who's running the Twitter account, which is probably one of the voices by text that you'll be able to at least recognize. And he actually left an audio talking about memetics that we're going to play later. We've got Bob, the art director, and he's responsible for website designs, banners, and stuff underneath Audo, or in tandem with Audo. So I think he's got an audio clip later. We've got Raymond, who is the concept artist who just started recently, and two really great drop-ins are Charles PTYX Gonzales, who is the business director and manages new and existing partnerships for Komodo. Get a voice shot there because he's actually in the call.
Hi everyone.
Hey, and we've got Kadan CA333 Stadelmann, the CTO who oversees and manages the Komodo development team, currently working to make AtomicDEX the best, most interoperable, decentralized exchange in the blockchain space.
Hey man, thanks for this comprehensive introduction.
Yeah, it's so really looking forward to like having these kind of like monthly shout outs with the community and get some more of that insight into what's going on, like this kind of on top of the Thursday weekly town halls. We're going to start this up by having a series of short discussions, some of them between some of the team members talking about some things that have happened over the past month, which are really strong and good for Komodo and AtomicDEX, just some of the best stuff that's going on right now. And then we'll have a couple of short updates from various members, like just little clips and one-offs in case like that's all like people have time for to listen to, and you can kind of digest this at your own pace. And we're going to start this up with an update from Kadan CA333 Stadelmann talking about like what's going on with AtomicDEX and Komodo and all the exciting updates that are happening. Handing it off to you now.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Sure.
Hope you're all doing great there. So yeah, I mean, on the Komodo core side, as well as on the AtomicDEX side, we've really like seen super huge progress over the last months, not just like month. I mean, in particular, most recent huge updates were on the Komodo core. We're basically rolled out the Komodo 07, which contains a lot of bug fixes, enhancements. We have CC on the CC layer on our crypto conditions, and basically this custom, like kind of smart contract technology. We've seen also like huge progress, an update that actually flow into a new research branch. We're collaborating very closely with the Tokel team, and that's basically a KMD-backed exclusive NFT platform that's kickstarted a lot of like internal research on the CC layer, etc. And yeah, last but not least, we also included the season 5 hard fork updates, which is planned to trigger on or around June 14th. And these are like I guess like the most exciting like tech updates on the Comodo core side for the 0.7 release. We also added the basically the shielded cross-chain atomic swap technology support. So this means essentially that Pirate as well as Zcash are receiving like full atomic swap support, which will also roll out to the AtomicDEX. And we're also looking at further protocols, specifically privacy protocols, joining this list of basically privacy protected cryptocurrencies that you will be able to swap through AtomicDEX. So basically opened up fully decentralized non-custodial trading functionality for this very important ecosystem. On the DEX side, I say we've probably seen like the most major and like kind of yeah, it's a major milestone for me. It's like a huge step towards like a full and true kind of like platform independence and OS agnostic technology, and that's like WebDex, right? So WebDex is, as the name already tells, just kind of rolling out AtomicDEX and the AtomicDEX functionalities as a standalone web application into the web environment, which will really like turn this technology a fully platform agnostic, OS agnostic technology. This is basically like DEX 4.0, right? Because this makes it just like compatible with, I don't know, like 95% of the end user devices and technology out there in the internet. And I also believe that this is like a step towards like the working and end user environment of the future, right? I mean, I definitely say that in a couple of years we won't see a lot of people still using laptops, computers, right? So we'll see more and more shift over like to mobile devices, maybe hybrid devices, and having WebDex now basically roll out before we reach this era should be like a huge advance, for this technology, and also for like truly permissionless and easy, like grandpa friendly access. So anyone, I mean, what this means is you just like type in, for example, web.atomicdex.io, and what happens is it will load like a standalone, like 100% decentralized, non-custodial, trustless DEX core into your web browser, and it will connect you to the peer-to-peer network, and it will handle just the swaps like it would do on a native end user device, right? Like a desktop or a computer, but this all really from the web environment. So ultimately you look at your coffee machine, your washing machine, your smart TV, and you could like run AtomicDEX on there, right? So this is like what this really means. And on DEX, we also see like a lot of like protocol enhancements on the network stack, but also on the protocol layer. So we added, for example, QRC support. That's been like a while back. We already announced that one. What's been like huge in the most recent release is a full Binance ecosystem support. So we have now the BEP20 tokens fully supported native. So we opened up the AtomicDEX like bridging solution to this big ecosystem. And this also includes, I mean, on AtomicDEX mobile, 42 newly listed BEP20 tokens in the most recent release. And on desktop, it's even like in a state where you can actually enable any BEP20 token, like an ERC20 token, very similar to how this happens on MetaMask and all these like web-based wallets, right? So I'd say this is like pretty much the biggest accomplishments that we rolled out. I also want to thank the entire team for the hard work on this. While we still enhance the WebDex, we will look towards a stable beta release of the AtomicDEX GUIs towards kind of early Q3. We also work on other like research segments, but it's like more really like beyond the proof of concept stage, right? It's things like KMD based rebate system for the DEX fees, right? The more KMDs you hold, for example, right, the less you'd be paying in fees at the end of the day. But also that actually KMD is going to be used as a DEX fee on AtomicDEX, so that you could optionally use Komodo to pay your DEX fees, and that would then also cause a rebate in the actual fees, just to give Komodo like this utility that probably a lot of people have been waiting for and also asked for. We also look at like many further like protocol enhancements. We're adding kind of a reputation, really like a reputation which should be like a very reliable way of preventing spam, malicious actors within a DEX network. That, I mean, obviously it's like a secure protocol, but you still have these kind of disruption attacks which are possible on all DEXs, and that's something that we kind of want to counter. And so as you hear, it's a lot now is about like polishing the technology, making it like really stable, production ready, right? It is, from many perspectives, it is production ready. And obviously we have a 2-year running beta program. We haven't had any issues now in a long while, right? Since the last stress test, the network's running super smooth. We had like days with 6 figures volumes, right? So we are looking really like super confident towards like end of this year for a stable release on the ADEX general side, and an early pre-release of the web DEX, and providing this as basically the huge update of this year. And yeah, this is like pretty much our last month and a few weeks like before that. So I hope it sounds exciting, and there'll be much more coming. And yeah, thanks for your attention.
That's so nuts. That's so much stuff in a month. When do you guys ever sleep? You and the dev teams?
We don't sleep really, like just a bit, you know, like.
Man, that's such a killer update. Thank you, CA. That's amazing. Just a shout out to the listeners that are out there. What's something that you would want everybody that's listening to do, whether they're part of the Komodo community, or they're just discovering AtomicDEX for the first time, or they've been like a long time like veteran tech holder, but like are just kind of running into us on GitHub and adding that little star on the profile to like follow the work here that you're doing? Do you have any suggestions for people out there?
Sure. I mean, a good way to reach out to kickstart, you know, conversations on specifically the dev side of things is always GitHub. I mean, we have like great discussions on GitHub, or at least we get like the connection kickstarted through GitHub. That's like one layer, right? But most of the team is like super active on Discord, so you can reach out there to us. You can also track the entire progress, what's happening, that. If you don't have specific questions, just curious on what's going on, I'd say probably the best place as a dev or someone who kind of gets a bit the tech of the things would be probably GitHub. We're really like super active on there. And yeah, but we're open, of course. I mean, hit us up on Twitter. You know, we have like Discord. We use Keybase. We use all the various social, you know, communication channels and mediums, and are open for all sort of, you know, proposals, concerns, you know, criticism. We're grateful for any kind of feedback we can get from the community. And yeah, don't hesitate to just like drop us a message, and we'll just like get back to you and hope that this will end in some collaboration.
Thanks so much, man. That's really cool. All right, moving right along, we've got I've got some statistics to be covered for the 043 release. Particularly, we're talking about some downloads. So for the previous 042 release of AtomicDEX, which was roughly about 30 days ago, there was roughly 5,000 downloads for just the desktop version. And that was split up between about 800 for Linux and 750 for Mac, and then 3,500 for Windows. And then just 7 days ago, there was the release of the AtomicDEX 043, which came with some wonderful GUI updates and some. Is that when the simple swap came out as well, and DogeDex picked that up as well? Does that sound right? Was that with 043?
I'm not 100% sure if it is released. I know that it's coming.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
Just like to clarify, yeah, on the KMD side, it's like the 07, which is already out, right? So also I'd use the chance to ask anyone who hasn't updated yet to update to the most recent version in around like 2.5 weeks. This is gonna kickstart, and this is like a mandatory hard fork update, right? On the mobile side, we have like the 0.3 versions out on mobile and on desktop. Like we have like 0.4.3, I think, is the most recent rollout that we did just like a short while back, and there will be like another rollout coming soon. But right now the team is like actually working on the 0.5 sprint. So anything that comes in between are like hot fixes, patches, maybe like smaller enhancements that we just like can roll out on the fly. We always prefer to do like short iterations just to keep it like kind of compact. But the 0.5 will be like the major release, that one that we're targeting to have like a stable one, right? So where's the 0.3 out, and the 0.4.3 was like the most recent one that went out on desktop, on mobile. Yeah, so 0.5 is what we're looking towards now.
And is the 0.5, is that what you were wanting to showcase some at the Miami conference later on in August that's getting planned? Is that right?
Exactly. That one as a stable product, and also really looking to present WebDex, like early, prototype system of WebDex, because it matured like extremely. We already have like all the native protocols running, right? So it means you can use, like, initially we did like the tests with Ethereum, ERC side of things, BP side of things, because they already have like a huge web support. But now we're actually at the native UTXO side of things. So, we have like Bitcoin, we have these kind of coins supported in the web environment for AtomicDEX. So that's like already one huge thing. There are like swap tests going on. So I hope by the Miami conference timeframe, we'll have like a really like a strong kind of message, with the presentation of the WebDex in addition to the 0.5 presentation.
Nice. Well, with the 0.4.3 release alone, there was it's only been out for 7 days. You can always go read about it at the blog. Dalton put one out synopsing a bunch of the updates for it. It's already had a total number of 1,500 downloads just over 7 days. So it's about like 200 some from Linux, 200 some from Mac, and then we've had about 1,000 downloads just for Windows, and that's just been in a really short time frame. So that's
and
a bit of like
doesn't include the DOSDEX installation numbers, right? I mean, Charles can probably add a few lines to that, because that one it's like the record, like user number carrier. Yeah, DOSDEX.
I guess it doesn't include Gleek Decks then either.
No. These numbers really only ours. Yeah.
Yeah, and that 1,500 is just for the desktop downloads, and the mobile market is kind of the key market right now. So. I'm going to go ahead and hand this off now to Charles PTYX Gonzales, who's going to drop us some biz dev updates from the past month and what's been going on, and kind of keep us in the loop there. And then we're going to move on through a few discussion points and have a couple short updates and wrap it up.
Sure. I got some notes down, basically what we've been working on for the past month and a half. A lot of the time that we do spend is being spent on a project that will be made public in the coming weeks. I think some people have asked about it in the community, so keep an eye on that. Besides that, this past month we've been working on delivering the Gleek Decks, which is a branded Dex similar to DogeDex but geared for the Gleek community. And the Gleek project is a regulated project in Europe. They have a Visa card, they have banking services, and with them, what we did is that we actually provided them a new asset from their old chain. So they're migrating to a Komodo chain, and they're doing the first decentralized migration through the Gleek Decks, so through the AtomicDEX network. And we're currently actually working with them and their exchanges so that the exchanges can get the new Komodo asset and to carry out the migration, and then the remaining users will actually use the Gleek Decks to swap from the old Gleek to the new Gleek. And that process will take around 3 months. Besides that, we are also negotiating with a different project. It's called the Football Coin, and they have an app available that's pretty well known in Europe, and they basically are geared towards like football fans. It's like a Twitter for football, and what they're looking to do is similar to Gleek. They're looking to migrate away from a stellar chain and launch their own asset, and also have their own branded decks. Besides that, we've been working with the marketing team to create the ecosystem page. So that's actually ready. Audo sent me the version of it earlier, and you'll be able to go on the ecosystem page and actually be able to see all of the projects that are either building on Komodo or that are working with us. It's just a little bit of a clearer view of how much we actually have, or how many projects or companies are actually using Komodo. And from there, we closed negotiations with the FIO project. We landed a grant from FIO to integrate the FIO addresses into the AtomicDEX, and that will be beginning. I believe the first milestone was around July, and we should be announcing the official partnership in the coming weeks. So besides that, we're also working on a new documentation for project onboarding. So I will be working with the marketing team to create sort of like one-pagers for the different things like the AtomicDEX integrations, simple integrations, branded Dexes, Komodo smart chains, and also the Komodo blockchain security. So basically you'll be able to have, or whichever project wants to onboard with us, will have a one-pager explaining how the onboarding works, what the benefits are, and basically like the main sell points of these technologies. So those will be available on the website soon, and we will also be using them to do a directed outreach through email and things like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, that covers what I've been working on, as well as Jason, who's the other business developer for the past month.
Killer. Oh my God. That's so much stuff. Thank you for the updates. That was really great. Big thanks to the always busy Kadan CA333 Stadelmann, and just as busy Charles PTYX Gonzales for stopping by and getting to have some of this conversation with Commuity and everybody else. I don't know how long they'll be able to stick around through the rest of the conversation that we have. That's probably going to be another good 20 minutes or so, but thank you both so much for being here. That was super great.
Thanks for having us. Thanks.
Our next up is, we've got Growth Hacker VK, who left us an audio message that we're going to play, talking about the content and messaging strategy that Komodo is pushing out. Audo has been working, Audo, the CMO, who's here doing all the clicking work to make sure that this live stream is running, they've been working together to create a new kind of mimetic messaging style that can get Komodo just more easily digested and at the table for everyday conversation. And just going to let it play.
So the metaverse. So we can think about universes, which would be like the metaverse. Like Ethereum. So we can think, and in that universe, it has the fabric of the universe is the Ethereum protocol, but within it has like different solar systems, right, which are like dApps, and different people exist within those solar systems, and they can be entirely separate, right? So that's like a universe, Ethereum, and then planets and solar systems within it are the projects that are on it, right? But there are other universes. There's this kind of multiverse, right? Where you have Ethereum, and then you might have something like, I don't know, Polkadot, Cardano, right? Like even some Bitcoin, Zcash. There were all these other universes, right? These other ecosystems that have their own planets and solar systems within them, right? All these universes are separated, right, by protocols and different barriers that prevent you from crossing them, and people traveling or ideas traveling easily, right? So the metaverse is all of these universes and concepts. It's cross protocol, cross everything, not just blockchain, but fintech, and not just crypto and the internet, but the Internet of Things and on the devices, right? So this metaverse concept is really important, because Komodo struggles in the past to explain like what all of its tools and technology is for, right? Like what is the unifying vision of Komodo. And the point of Komodo is that it is going to unify the metaverse. It gives developers the power to unify the metaverse, right? So it means that you can build freedoms, freedom to trade, freedom to commerce, freedom to move your ideas around cross-chain, cross-protocol. And that's the point, except the key differentiator is that Komodo is really true to like peer-to-peer technology, which is the origins of the internet. So Komodo developers have like an old school mindset, and you can see that because they go back before Komodo to like Bitcoin Dark, before that to the NXT chain, right? So the Komodo developers have been around for a long time, and their values have remained consistent, which is like peer-to-peer technology that's about self-sovereignty and autonomy. So when we're unifying the metaverse, or we're giving developers the power to unify the metaverse because they're going to build with that technology, it's done peer-to-peer. It's about the individual being able to cross and travel different universes, right? Their money, their time, because blockchain itself is solves a time problem, but also money is a store of time. So it's freedom of trade, freedom of commerce, freedom of association, freedom to store your time, to hedge against inflation. These are all the different freedoms that people can build with Komodo, and they're freedoms for the individual to be sovereign and autonomous and not be told what to do by a third party. And so then it's like, what about memes? Like, what is the point of memetics, right? So there's a complicated technology that most people don't have the time to understand when it comes to Komodo's tech. That, you know, it's like having to do a course. You have to give them things that are in different levels of abstraction, like simple is hard, right? So what are memes? Memes are the smallest unit of information that's replicable, okay? So ideas have people, people don't have ideas. It's not what we say, it's what they remember and repeat, right? So when you think about memes, we're looking across this kind of ecosystem of ideas. Communism, feminism, money, Bitcoin, these are all memes. These are ideas, and they get transmitted from people, okay? And they evolve. They're not static, they evolve. So our job is to try and think about like what memes exist. We're not trying to invent a way of explaining things. We're trying to think about what exists, where the energy is, and then leverage that, right? So you can think of the first Bitcoin meme was like the magical internet money, right? That was the first meme. You can look that up. And so using something like unify the metaverse and giving developers the power to unify the metaverse, and there's no maximalism, there's no room for maximalism in the metaverse. These are all great memes because they're simple, they're easy to repeat, and they explain what the technology is really trying to do. And then someone can say, and then what? And then what? And why do you want to unify the metaverse? Because we want to, allow people to build freedoms. We want people to be able to cross and move ideas around from chain to chain. Then you suddenly get to the point of Komodo's tech, right? It isn't to be the one ring that rules them all, the one chain that's going to outcompete all the other chains. It's to allow people to not have to be locked into one protocol or platform or one way of doing things. It's to allow them to pick the best of different chains and different ideas and to bring them together. So you're picking from all protocols and ideas. So maybe you want to have a side chain here. You want to have you want to start off on this ecosystem like Ethereum, and then you want to move over, like NFTs, for example. So I don't know if that helps. Maybe I've gone on for a little bit too long. Let me know if you want me to clarify anything.
Great explanation from VK about mimetic messaging and the metaverse. And it's like VK is absolutely great. He's our growth hacker here who has been working with social media channels, particularly Twitter. And we asked him for can you give us 60 seconds or 2 minutes on metaverse and mimetic messaging. He just has so much stuff to share with it. Delton has also been working on this narrative some, talking about metaverse and the blog messaging and stuff. And there's been a lot of talk within the team just about metaverse in general. If anybody else has something they want to jump in to share about what the vision of metaverse is and what it means and why we're going after this for our memetics before we move on to the visual direction update. Feel free, just say your name and share a note. And
Yeah, I think this is an excellent conversation that our team is having, and Vika is leading the idea of a metaverse. People picking up the brains of various team members about it and asking them how do they see the metaverse, and also how do you see like the Comodo vision? What is the purpose? Like, why are we here? What are we here to do? And then that all would clarify like also values and what is Comodo, and like Vika was explaining, like this is to explain generally what is Comodo, make it easy to understand, like simplify the technology, make it understandable, and that's also in line with the visual direction and the things that we are looking to improve on the on this, like showing the Comodo world. And that is something we will be talking about next, actually. But before we go there, I still want to leave the room if someone else wanted to comment on the metaverse or Comodo vision and anything else about messaging and memetics.
Yeah, I think one thing is just like about AtomicDEX and how Komodo is connecting all the blockchains together. I think it's really important, especially like this past release of AtomicDEX, the 043 release, for instance, like you can add any BEP20 token. So that's like something that's like really impressive. I mean, you can add any ERC20 token or QRC20 token as a custom asset. So you're kind of seeing this kind of multi-chain vision where we're collaborating more than we're like competing with other projects. We're trying to build freedoms and just giving people and developers like the option to kind of build on any chain and use AtomicDEX as a way to connect those chains. I think it's really important with the messaging as well.
Yeah, I think I've seen you writing about it in the blogs, describing it as Komodo is building bridges through the AtomicDEX software to all other projects on a native level.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's about uniting the different crypto communities together. I think it's really important.
Yeah, which having been in some calls with PTYX, Charles on PTYX Gonzales, like that's one of the things that's come up is that projects want to be on kind of neutral and agnostic software that like benefits everybody, like not just like the base like core project benefiting itself, kind of like the getting rid of tribalism and uniting everybody together. I've heard some successful conversations around that. Okay, so we've got visual direction update. This is from Audo and Bob. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Audo here so that we can hear some about that. Thanks.
All right, let's talk about the Comodo design direction and what we are up to, what we have been working on. So I'm here joined by Bob, the Commodore Art Director.
Hi, Audo.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So what can you tell us? How are you doing? Like, what are you up to? What are we working on?
Yeah, for sure. So like our main brand, that was a bit of a challenging road to get here. But basically, we thought about Komodo as this big world with all these different locations because we have, Komodo is like this big tree with all these branches and different with different technologies and use cases. And we also have a very, a variation in different audiences. So for us, these locations have their own unique environment and setting on this like Komodo world. And that way we can visually set the branches apart, but have them all within the same design family. And our first focus was, of course, the main brand. And we wanted we wanted to feel like it was Komodo, like, we used to have the Komodo brand with the greenish and the contrasty colors. I'm sorry. So we find Iceland to be a great inspiration for that. There was a
lot of like challenges we had with it's very challenging what we are trying to do, like create something unique, but at the same time, like you said, we have to take into account there's multiple different audience types, and then you came up with the Iceland theme.
Yeah,
that was great, and it really fit to the, I think, to the theme of Komodo and to the spirit of this kind of like mysteries in the scenes, and then from there I think we also got inspiration from weather and the northern lights, and then after that, like now we've been thinking, how can we bring like the human element to the design, maybe some people, and showcase the community interaction. So what do you think? Do you have thoughts? How could we do that?
well, I think a big inspiration for bringing in these like human elements is the Renaissance time period, because that whole time period has really it's not the same, but it basically stands for rebirth. So it's like a transitional period in history that brought us out of medieval decline into a new golden age, and that's a bit heavy, but it's if you read up about the artwork that was created in that period of time, it's really inspiring for us to look at and to see how we could envision like that kind of hints into our own visualization. And we brought a new team member on board, Raymond. Raymond is a very talented concept artist, and he's currently helping us to visualize these different locations and adding characters to the scene, which is really turning out great, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect with Raymond. Hopefully we can get him on the call here after. And also, like, I was looking also to like you said, the Renaissance, and that led to me. I'll read about the Romanticism and looking at the paintings there. And I just connected that to what you've been working on. There's a lot of nature, and they were trying to be painted to be realistic. And it's just, there's a lot of different themes connected with crypto too. Like all this, there's like a lot of inspiration we can take from all of this. And I like the paintings because there's a lot of characters with kind of a lot of like interaction, and we are looking for ways to bring that into the Komodo designs. And that's I feel like when we really like we contacted Raymond and like you said, he's the concept artist, and he can make mock-ups or like sketches and draw. And so what you can tell us, like, so if I understand correctly, the plan is that you will make the 3D scene, and then Raymond will draw on top. That is the current what they're trying out. Can you give us more context?
Yeah, sure. I think first off, it's good to understand for our viewers to why we are exploring this area. And I think like looking at the blockchain space in general, it's very technical. And I think the new people here are here because of the hype around price action, not because it's an ID. And I think everybody joining this space, either as an investor or as a developer or as somebody who has an interest in technology, figures out that this industry is building new tools for a new and hopefully better world. So for me, it's really exciting to explore that part of visualizing that. And I think a lot of crypto projects aren't doing that. They are sticking with just trying to explain technology, and we are trying to also figure out how to connect with the more human side of it. I think that is a really great way Raymond can help us with, because he has a background of really creating like emotions that are driven by characters into concepts. So like he is now really exploring what that could be. So trying out different things without me constraining him and saying what kind of direction he should take. And I think in a later stage, we really have to combine the stuff I'm doing with what he can do, and figure out a way how to do it.
Yeah, I've been liking what the concept he's being brought back to. We haven't said any of them with the community yet. We are just on early stages of figuring out. But yeah, we will give him total creative freedom to come up with things, and it's all. I think we are on the verge of something great here. So I'm really optimistic about the whole process and what the end result will then look like. But yeah, I think we are running out of time. So thanks, Bob, for joining and for the insight. And I feel like there's a lot more insight you could provide. So hopefully we can talk more to you in future. Maybe get you to few of our community hangouts, so the community can ask you questions, and we have a bit more time to go more in depth into these topics. I'm myself super interested about this whole thing. So thanks, Bob. Look forward to our next chat.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, Audo, and I will be back soon. So see you.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm here, joined by Raymond. So Raymond is a concept artist. He's working with us to help us to come up with a new style, new direction. So closely working with Bob. Hello, Raymond. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Audo.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, good.
Introduce yourself. Who are you?
Good to be here. I'm what you call a concept artist, a senior concept artist. I worked in the game industry for several companies like Ubisoft, Crytek, and CCP Games. And I hope to bring some of my skill set, I guess, and my insights to the table, and basically complement what Bob, the amazing work Bob has been doing, and all your art direction. So yeah, let's see what I can contribute.
Yeah, so far it's looking good. Like you just got started, and I'm feeling good about this whole thing, and seems like we are definitely on our best to discovering something exciting. I think it's a bit too early to share too much yet, but I think we hope to share with the community more of what we have came up with, and of course ask for feedback and other ideas.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to continue exploring the visual style. So I think right now we are kind of experimenting, like a kind of pre-production phase, where we were just looking at what is interesting and what works. And that's fun. So I hope something productive will come out of it in the end.
Me too. And I'm pretty confident that we will get somewhere. It seems very promising. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining, Raymond.
Yeah, I'm excited to be part of the team. So
yeah, for sure. And I think we will hear a lot more from you in the future. So everyone can stay tuned for the next video update. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right. So there we are. That was the design direction. Good stuff. We will look forward to sharing the first concepts as soon as we are done with the initial discovery phase with Raymond and Bob, and we will hear more from both of them in the future updates. I think now it's time to move on to new topics. So we got PTYX and JC here talking and introducing the new Comodo AtomicDEX API page, and especially like the business sides and what's going on with all the branded Dexes. So you take it away.
Yeah, thanks for all the great update over the visual contents and getting Bob's voice and Raymond's voice out there too. That was super great. PTYX, Charles.
Yeah.
What's going on with branded Dexes? Why was this a thing? Is this happening?
Yeah.
Is this the way?
It's interesting because I think well, ever since the Doge Decks, we have had a lot of people reach out. Some projects don't necessarily need a fully branded Dex. A lot of projects are just looking for simple integrations. But for example, we got a contact. This was just a few days ago. Someone that wants a branded Dex, but they don't want it to trade other coins. What they want it for is to build a gateway. As you know, the Binance chain has been taken off. There's a lot of proxy tokens on Ethereum and on Tron, and they have tokens on each of these ecosystems. And this is actually a use case that I had brought up with Kadan like a week ago or a week and a half ago, where I told him that I thought that we should offer a decentralized gateway, basically. So it's the DEX, but the only function of it is for people to be able to hold the proxy tokens of a project and be able to go in and out of a certain ecosystem. And somebody actually reached out, and we're in the process of negotiating it's a branded DEX, but it's more of a bridge. It would just be a bridge for their coin for people to, you know, migrate from one side to another.
So cool.
Yeah, I think it's a cool use case, because when you look at the alternative, so if you launch a coin on Binance chain, you have to have a gateway through Binance. There's also another project that we've been working with that tried to do the same thing with a bridge, but the option that they had was giving over custody of their coins to a third party. So with the DEX, they're actually able to build their own bridge. The project would have custody of the funds themselves, and the users would never have to actually deposit coins somewhere and wait for like a withdrawal. They would be able to swap one-to-one through the DEX. So it's an interesting use case for branded DEXs, but I do think it's definitely a very important use case for Komodo, for the AtomicDEX itself. Just by revenue, it's one of the most successful things that we have. So I would say it's definitely on the spotlight.
That's awesome. And you're doing a lot of work with the Dogedex community too, right? And they're the branded DEX over there.
Yeah, I think it's like, I guess the first success of the branded DEX was the Doge DEX. And I mean, there's still a lot of work to do. The Doge community is like very viral, and the download, I think we have nearly like 20,000 downloads between the mobile apps and the desktop apps.
That's so nuts.
It is, yeah. They love it. They really do. I think once this new update comes out with the simple mode, which is basically like a Uniswap style trade, I think that will take the DEX to a whole different level, because most people are already confused by the idea of an atomic swap. And if they can go into an app and say, I want to trade Komodo for Doge, this is what I'm going to get. I hit click swap, and that's it. It's going to be a lot simpler to use.
Yeah, it is kind of like a confusing process. I mean, there's like a little bit of barrier to entry there because it's just this new thing that's very highly technical. I mean, like just last week, like Elon offered to fly you out so that you could explain it to him, right? But you were just too busy working on stuff, I heard. So.
No.
So we've got we're going to show off the new landing page now, I think, for the Komodo AtomicDEX API, because everything that PTYX was just describing for branded DEXs is really leading into this conversation about the underlying layer for AtomicDEX, the AtomicDEX API, and all this stuff that can be used to build just more than one thing, which people are starting to adopt and take interest in, and basically keep on calling the biz dev department about to be like, hey, can we do this? Can we do this? So over there, if we hop on over to the Komodo AtomicDEX API, you can find it on komodoplatform.com. And it's /Komodo AtomicDEX API. And we get a great description of what it is and what it means. It is a bridge to all blockchains. That's that kind of communication that Delton Rhodes has been adding to the blogs and been finding good reaction from. So it's about launching a decentralized exchange, crypto wallet, and other DeFi products, because that can be a complex process. AtomicDEX API is one of the solutions that's out there now for doing this native cross-protocol trading that you don't have to worry about a middleman, or you don't have to worry about the counterparty risk. You can
I don't see the website. I think Audo has.
Oh, I was going to throw that up on the stream.
It's visible for the stream.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Perfect.
So we've got the build a non-custodial wallet. So the PTY, would you say that AtomicDEX is a great non-custodial software wallet solution for people to be checking out? Like, what are your recommendations?
In regards to launching it as a wallet only?
How about building a non-custodial wallet using the AtomicDEX API?
Yeah, I think you know, it's an interesting concept because building a wallet usually involves quite a bit of legwork in regards to, let's say, if you want to build a multi-wallet. So like building it for a single coin isn't as complicated. But for example, when we built the Chameleon wallet, I think we spent months just really trying to like think of the engine that we were going to use. So with the AtomicDEX API, they basically have it at the tip of their fingers. With it, though, I mean, you could build out the wallet functionality on it. So you could basically use a BIP39 seed to generate your private keys, and you could add all of the coins that are already supported on there, or you could just add whichever ones you want. And then you have that added benefit that you can add or integrate the peer-to-peer swaps. So I definitely do think it's an interesting option for a project that might not have as much, you know, resources. They could basically build it off of the AtomicDEX API.
Yeah, if I remember right, the Dogecoin community didn't even really have like a really strong wallet option. Like their wallet was from like 1975 or something like that.
Yeah, the wallet is pretty outdated. And they did not have dedicated Electrum X servers, which they do now thanks to us. So yeah, there are a few things. So like projects like that have been around for a long time that might not have a state-of-the-art wallet could definitely use the AtomicDEX API to build out their own, as long as they're supported. So that's actually a cool thing though. So even if it's a coin that might not be supported for DEX protocol, we would actually be able to add it as a wallet-only function.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. We've also got the AtomicDEX API, Komodo AtomicDEX API being talked about as a opportunity to launch a cross-protocol decentralized exchange. So you can use that API to give anything the ability to do cross-protocol decentralized exchanging via atomic swaps, like that you want to get that plugged into. I've heard people already talking about like they want to build a game and they want to like find a way to do like native asset trading, like for tokens or something with Tokel, which is one of the Komodo community projects. And they want to like get a plugin for like how do they get that transaction in, and AtomicDEX API could be one of those solutions for sure. A super exciting one is develop an enterprise-ready DeFi platform. Do you want to say anything about that, Charles?
When you say enterprise-ready, can you, or yeah, DeFi, because I mean the DeFi is so broad. I guess.
Oh, right. So right, yeah, right now, I feel you. So right now, a lot of our conversations are kind of rotating around the IDO portals. So the initial DEX offering. There was recently an article put up on CoinMarketCap by Kadan, CA333 Stadelmann, like describing on CoinMarketCap's Alexandria what an IDO is, and like they're like, yeah, like you should. He's leading the conversation there.
Yeah, with the DEX, I mean, it's definitely a technology that you could leverage to sort of step into the DeFi space. And in regards to the IDOs, it's definitely, I think, an option, especially for coins that might not have launched. Like a lot of the new projects are launching only on the Binance chain or on Ethereum. So for them, it does make sense to launch an IDO on there. But if they want to accept other coins, if they want to involve other communities that might not be on the Binance chain or on an Ethereum token, they could look at the AtomicDEX as an option to basically sort of bridge bridge support from different communities. Again, with DeFi, usually it's important for the coin to be cross operable. So if you are launching, let's say, a DeFi farm, like I don't know, like on PancakeSwap or something, or let's say you have a native coin and you actually want to launch a farm or something on the Binance chain, you could leverage the AtomicDEX to basically provide the best of both worlds, where a user would be able to go in and out of the Binance chain ecosystem, participate in the farms or in IDOs, or you could do an IDO on the AtomicDEX itself, and then go back into the native coin through the AtomicDEX.
Yeah, those are, yep, those are super great examples. Well, for the rest of the Komodo AtomicDEX API page, we've got some talk about Komodo smart chains, the DPoW blockchain security, combining so the AtomicDEX, Komodo AtomicDEX API combining with other Komodo solutions. And then down at the bottom, we'll always have our latest and greatest for the news releases regarding the Komodo AtomicDEX API, like what we have on a lot of our other landing pages. Big props to Delton for working out so much of the wording and messaging on this, and we've got Lydia as well in the call, who is doing so much with SEO to make sure that we're hitting the keywords and staying competitive within our sector. And when you get to the very bottom of the page, you can, if you're a developer, there's a read documentation section. You can grab a quote if you are a crypto project that wants to get a branded DEX or wants to start getting into the AtomicDEX API situation. Obviously, Charles here is ready to be working with everybody and has a backlog, so getting in now is more ideal than getting in 3 months from now. And then we've got, if you're enterprise, you can contact us to look at working together with your organization to launch whatever your project is going for. And with that, because there's more things to talk about and we could stay on this for a while, I'm gonna hand it off to the next discussion segment, which is being headed up by Artakush as the new community manager. Thank you, PTYX, for being here and chatting on that topic.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And we've got Artakush, who's the new community manager liaison person that's stepped up to be doing tons of work with the community and help give us a dedicated role to be active and follow up with the programs that have been getting started up here as part of this team expansion that's been going on over the past month. Artakush, what's up?
Oh, thank you, JC. It's a great time to join the community, and it's an incredible time to be actually involved in the blockchain technologies. From when I came to the community, I've seen that there's lack of maybe a little bit of new energy, and with my commitment to Komodo, we've added additional times to community hangouts and interest times. We also had plenty of the contributor calls, which was an amazing success for me. I think from 7 contributor calls, we had 5 that actually got some sort of task from Komodo for a bounty, and the other 2 actually were forwarded to other people where they found their own success. So to cap it out altogether, I think we're having a great success in engaging and trying to reach the community, and hopefully throughout the time, as we're trying to be as approachable as possible to bring the community towards us and be approachable and be transparent with everything what we're doing, trying to solve their problems and maybe give some tips and hints how they can be successful around the Komodo.
Yes, that's awesome. You started from back in the Audo's internship program. We were hanging that out in that together a while ago.
Exactly. So we kind of, through internship, we actually seen and resolved the problems that were apparent. And I think with me coming in, we could actually tackle them much more efficiently, as Audo has already full hands. And I was the new person who overtake a little bit of the stress that Audo had. And I think we're working out really great. I just wanted to mention also that we have an additional time of the Hangout calls on Wednesdays, 12 p.m. UTC, and one before the town hall on Thursdays at 3 p.m. UTC, We're gonna also release a new format, kind of raw video update every week, just before the Hangouts. We did it now twice, an hour or 2 hours before the Wednesday's Hangout. We're gonna try to actually figure out everything on Sunday and maybe release it on Monday so people are aware just before the Hangout to see what kind of week is coming up and be aware of the events that are besides the Hangouts. There's a town hall and new tradition, the general Komodo update.
Yes. Yeah, I remember, I guess like it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe at the beginning of the month, maybe it was longer than that, the community contributor interest meetings kind of got started up, and you were just like starting to explore kind of getting involved. And I remember that there was so many more people than I expected that like stood up and were like ready to help out and do all this stuff. And it was like suddenly, it was like way overwhelming for, in a good way, like the amount of contributions that wanted to be made. And then that's like, you showed up like out of nowhere. You're like, yeah, I'll take care of this, but no big deal. We got it.
Yeah, and I mean, that led for me to actually have some sort of career with Komodo, right? So I would like to know everybody that if you have your own skills, it doesn't matter what kind of niche, Komodo platform is so broad that you're gonna find your own way to help us and actually benefit for yourself, and maybe and hopefully learn more about the blockchain, which is necessary for us now.
Yeah, thank you, Artakush. Man,
thank you, JC.
Killer.
Thank you for the team
Yeah.
doing such a great job.
Yeah. Absolutely. Those the community contributor meetings are always updated on the post that's pinned to the top of the komodoplatform.com page. There's the scheduler piece there that comes out every month. Delton always writing. He's our very own Hamilton, just like always putting words out there to make sure that everybody knows where they can get to and what they can do. Visit that scheduler piece, add things to your calendar if you're like wondering what's going on and you want to get involved, that kind of thing. We'll go ahead and move on to this is our last discussion topic, and then we'll have a series of like super short, like 30-second or less updates that we want to leave people with. And the last discussion topic is about the Komodo Academy that has been up and coming with a group of active community members. And it's the Komodo Academy content related to that. In this discussion, we have Delton, the content manager here, and we've got Lydia, who is our wonderful SEO expert, has dropped in to like save us from trying to figure out like what are the best keywords that we should be using, and basically like how to get on the top search results when you're using things like Google and other search engines. And we have Audo, the CMO, who has been helping lead this conversation as well. And I'm gonna hand it off to y'all to get that, have some discussion over it.
Yeah, thanks, JC. I think I could just start with a very quick intro to what is the Komodo Academy. So this thing includes multiple things. It started off from the community interest meetings that Artakush was just talking about. So we have dedicated community effort that they are working on open source, free curriculum meant for students who want to learn about development. And I asked yesterday an update from them, so they are making good progress. They have a roadmap. They said that they just completed their phase 1, and they are now getting ready to get some external feedback. And I think there's going to be more updates coming from their side pretty soon. Then another aspect is the junior development program that is run by our CTO Kadan, CA33. So he is looking for people who already know about blockchain and development. And if you would like to learn like really hands-on, full-time in a full-time environment, working closely with the Commodore team, then you can reach out to CA, send an email to jobs@comodoplatform.com and apply. And then the third component is what Delton and Lydia here on the call have been working on, along with some freelance writers. Is the content in the actual academic portal that we now have online, and there are a few articles already. And I think I will just let Delton tell us more about this. What have you been up to, Delton?
Yeah, thanks, Audo. So we recently moved a lot of the older blog posts over from the blog section to this Academy page. So it includes like this Komodo Academy includes content about blockchain and crypto education. So we have different topics here. We have 3 main categories, which are developer guides, which includes like basically everything you need to know about like blockchain development. So we're currently writing some of those articles. There's also blockchain fundamentals. So you can kind of learn like from beginner level, like what is a blockchain, how to use it, how do different protocols work, things like that. And then also we have another category called coin guides. So basically these are just overviews of different projects listed on AtomicDEX. Like looking at the content on the Komodo Academy, we currently have a few of the developer guides already here at the top. And we also have great community contributors. We have Buttery Gold and Harrison, who have been writing some of the articles for Komodo Academy. So you can see here like an example of like what is basic attention token from Harrison, and you can see a post here from Buttery Gold, SEC versus Ripple Labs as an example. So basically this is just an educational content place where you can find everything you want to know about like blockchain technology. And at the same time, we're also going to have the blog still. So the Komodo blog is going to have all the different announcements we have at Komodo, things like releases of AtomicDEX, also the Komodo Insights, which are kind of like newsjacking a reaction to things happening in the blockchain space. So if there's some news happening like it was last week, then we publish different articles and different reactions to this. So yeah, that's kind of my overview.
Yeah. Actually, a small edit regarding the academy stuff. Yeah, we have decided to cover the academy, which will be optimized from SEO perspectives. Like we will cover evergreen content, and it will be some kind of guide for the junior developers, for beginners who want to learn blockchain development. And the content covered in the academy section, it will be optimized both for Google bots and for the users. There will be like from UX UI perspectives easily accessible for the users. So these kind of things we are doing on the SEO stuff, as well as we have a bunch of articles already written there, and we are continuously optimizing these articles to make it evergreen, updated, and accessible to the users. So yes.
Yeah, thanks, Lydia. Yeah, for some reason your webcam stopped working. That's just a side point. But yeah, and also I want to also welcome and introduce Lydia to the Comodo community. Actually, very recently. How long is it now? Almost 2 months or something? 2 months ago? About 2 months ago.
A month and a half, yeah. A month and a half already.
1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she joined the Comodo team as the SEO expert, and for the first time actually ever, we were having a more dedicated and sustained effort to improve our website SEO. And also prior to Lydia joining the team, we made a SEO like overview or report from another community contributor, and also Lydia was looking at the SEO when she joined, and the kind of conclusion was that there's a tons of potential for our domain for SEO. Well, can you tell us more about Lydia, about that, and anything else you want to mention regarding the Komodo?
No, actually, I have nothing to add, just that the Komodo platform already has its place in the SERP. So my job here is to make it accessible to Google bots and to the users and bring it to the first page of SERPs. This is the stuff that we are working on.
Yeah, I think like another thing is like we decided to move like from subdomains. So we originally had like blog.komodoplatform.com and like this kind of structure, but now we have like a slash at the end. So that gives us more like SEO juice. So we're getting like the traffic and like getting the benefits from the traffic across all the web pages. So it's just like strengthening our presence on the web, I think.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that there's actually so much content that we produce every month or basically on a weekly basis, kind of led by Dalton, and Dalton is working with several freelancers, and also we have a community contributors making posts, and so anyway else also, like if you wanna, you feel like you are a writer, just like reach out to Artakush and see what happens. He will probably put you in touch with Dalton here.
Absolutely. I just wanted to remind again that we have the new Hangout Times, Wednesdays, 12 p.m. UTC. You joined that. And then one before the town hall at 3 p.m. UTC. And releasing new content. It's raw video updates. It's going to be weekly. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a planned themes for our Hangouts. We're going to try to figure out how we can make it a bit more entertaining. And yes, just come and join us. We're so approachable.
I think
that's really good.
Yeah, you nailed it. So I think we can end this segment with that, as we are running out of time for the for the entire event actually. But I believe we do have one segment left, right, JC? What is happening next?
Yeah, totally. We've got the little update section at the end, which is we've got like really short updates from various community members over kind of like the what's next. Because all this was like the and just general improvements, because this was all like the best and greatest that's been happening in the past month. And we're just going to run those clips and then say thanks everybody for listening, and you can just tune in and like listen to this section, and we'll leave it here at the end. Thanks everybody.
Thank you, team. Thank you, JC. Thank you, Audo. Thank you, everybody, who joined us.
Yeah, thank you to all the listeners and community members that have been keeping us like pumped to keep on doing all this.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to be doing this every month, so stay tuned.
Every month for the Bizdev, right there. Find out
Forever,
new stuff.
100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna make a dynasty.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye. Take care.
But no, we are not ending yet. Hey,
Yeah, one more.
There's this very second update segment. So I think I was just go first, and then yeah. Just quick. So the idea here is that we just give like quick updates, kind of a stand-up style from everyone who's still on the call. And we also have one pre-recording from Lindsay, who couldn't make this live event. And yeah, we will do this every month, especially if this format works. So we will see. You tell us if this is good format or not. So okay, so I will start.
Like, subscribe, and push the bell.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Audo, the CMO, and this work we were really working on to coming up with a plan with the website, and we are preparing a lot of the ground content, trying to move the needle as much as we can. And the two main focus areas were the messaging framework that we work with Dalton, Lindsay, and the whole marketing team. And another aspect has been the visual push, the visual direction that we have been working with multiple designers. You heard from two of them already, and we are trying to come up with that. And then these two things merge at the end. We're going to update the website, put a lot of new materials out there. So that's pretty much it. That's what we are working towards from my side.
Yeah, and I want to add that we do have the links to the new web pages available in the YouTube video description. So if you want to check out the new web pages, just view the description and you should see them in there.
All right.
Should I say the Hangout Times again?
Yeah, you can give your update and tell us about the Hangout Times.
Wednesdays, 12 p.m. UTC, here in the Discord. And Thursdays, just before Town Hall Meetup, 3 p.m. UTC. Let's go.
That's so good.
And all right, and now let's play. We have one update from Lindsay, so let's just play it before everyone leaves.
I want Artakush as my wake up alarm, telling me to get up out of bed and do stuff.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, here we go.
Hello, I'm Lindsay, head of PR, and this week I'm working on developing a public relations strategy for Komodo. I've been analysing previous media articles that have been written about the project to see what messages have been communicated externally and how they've evolved. I've also been looking at how other projects in the space have been covered to see how they compare and if there are similar opportunities for us. The marketing team has been working on a new messaging framework, which we reviewed and discussed last week. So I'm currently working on bringing this all together in a PR strategy for the project, outlining where we are, what our goals are, and how we can get there using public relations. I've also been getting to know the rest of the marketing team over the last few weeks and what they're focusing on. So the strategy will also include ways we can work together to make sure the work we're producing is being utilised or amplified through PR where possible in order to really maximise the impact. So yeah, I look forward to sharing that.
Excellent update, Valenci. All right, so Dalton, you wanna give us a little update?
On the academy, or yeah, yeah. So the academy is going well. So just yeah, if anyone wants to contribute to the academy, yeah, just contact me on Discord. It's good. Yeah, and then we can get started from there. Yeah, and once again, reminder. Check the YouTube video description for the new web pages and the links to the academy. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, thanks, Dalton. How about Lydia?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm taking care of SEO of Komodo. So at the moment, I'm working on the two SEO pillars like technical SEO and content stuff. Technically, we make the website accessible to Google both to search engines, and from the content stuff like content optimization, interesting content for users, and engaging content. So this much from my end for now, and during the next updates I will be more covered.
Thanks. And PTY, do you want to give us a little update at the end?
Sure, I'll just do a summary and a update. So my name is Charles. I work for the business development team at Komodo. I'm one of the business developers, and I basically liaison between projects that are trying to onboard onto Komodo with the development team and our other teams like marketing. Keep an eye on the branded Dexes, which are coming out in the coming months. We already have a few out. We should have another 3 in the next month. And the beautiful thing about the branded Dexes is that they share the same network. So it's not like we're launching segregated applications for other communities. While they are branded for them, it does improve our liquidity. It gives us a boost in the network as a whole. We are negotiating partnerships. We have landed grants in these past months, and we're working very hard to try to narrow down the messaging in regards to selling the software and the technology that Komodo offers to different projects. And you will see that as we move along, especially with the business pages. We'll see more documentation on what the onboarding looks like, pricing, things like that. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. If you're a project that wants to launch either your own token on Komodo, or if you want your coin to be added to the AtomicDEX network, or if you want your own custom DEX, feel free to reach out to us. You can write us at partners@komodoplatform.com, or you can fill out the web form at the Komodo Platform website.
Perfect. And we have, I think, the last one, JC. Is JC still on the line?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. So quick 30-second update. I definitely would want to speak to include VK, who's our growth hacker. In the past month, we've been working on the branded Dexes situation for the double-sided referral situation, which is to help create an onboarding process that anybody that's building a Dex or a branded Dex can use and hopefully get integrated at some point in the future. That's one of the things that's definitely excited for getting to come. And I can just really shout out a whole bunch of CTAs for join the waiting list for the Komodo Academy content that's getting put out there that we heard Delton, Lydia, and Audo talking about earlier. Join our community hangouts that we heard from Artakush about. You can work to become a community contributor. That was with the visual direction that Audo, Bob, and Raymond were talking about. Contact PTYX and the dev team for learning a little bit more about the Komodo AtomicDEX API. And follow along as our memetic messaging develops, and look for some places to reply on the Twitter thread as that comes out. And looking forward to doing this again next month for sure.
For sure. I think that concludes it, and Jesse also gave us all the last call to action. So be sure to also subscribe to the YouTube channel and everywhere else, to our newsletters especially, and get tuned for to. You will get some emails from Delton here every month. And
I have like 8 accounts signed up.
Yeah, I have probably more than that. I probably have at least 12.
Okay. Any final words? Is this it?
I think that's it.
All right.
Thanks so much, everybody, for showing up.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody out there listening along.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, team.
Bye.
Have a good night.